Good evening, ladies. I hope you're doing well tonight. Okay, I'm trying to find us over on the other page. Let's see, there we go. Okay, so tonight is our normal first Thursday of the month card class. And the theme for this month, for September, was Pop of Color, meaning we are going to look at how to use color to make our cards even more spectacular and having it more as a pop as opposed to it being all over color. We're going to go with different elements, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do that tonight. And we will get started because I'm not sure who's going to join me. When you do join in, can you just type in the comments that you are here so that I know that you're present? And when the class is over tonight, I will be moving this class over to the YouTube channel. And if you could go over there and like and subscribe, that will really help for that channel to start to grow, because Facebook will delete these videos after 30 days. So I'm trying to get them somewhere, and I haven't been able to figure out how to be live in YouTube and Facebook at the same time and have it all recording. I know I need another platform. It's something called StreamYard or something like that, and it sounded a little too complicated, and there was also a fee for that. So I'm figuring this might be just our best avenue for right now, is to continue with our lives, and then I will move them over to YouTube after the class is over within the next few days. So we're going to get started. I see Patty is on with me tonight. And let's see who else is going to be with me. All right. Boy, they keep changing things, because now I can't see any comments. Oy, oy, oy. Facebook, stop changing. Oh, okay. So let's get started. The other beauty of these cards for tonight is there is no sentiment stamped. So you could use these cards for any purpose that you would want them to be used. So, for example, this very first one, you could use it for a congratulations card, a baby shower card, a wedding card, a female birthday card, a retirement card, a congratulations card, any reason you would want to give a card to a girl friend, a friend who is a girl, a thinking of you, a thank you, a whatever, because the element, the pop of color for this card is our flower, and that's all. The rest of it is white. It's a very neutral background, and the flower is what's giving us the color. And the inside, again, like I said, is completely empty, so you can decide how you want to, your purpose of your card. So let's begin putting this card together. I see I have 3 people on. I'm sorry I can't see who you are, because again, Facebook isn't allowing any of that tonight, which is just a bunch of craziness. So I'm going to get started building this card. You will have a flower. You will have the center of the flower, and we're going to have one stem that's a leaf. However, we are going to cut this so that it gives us the element that we need. I'm going to set these aside for a moment. You are going to have 3 pink dots. You will have 1 banner here, and this was cut with what's called the fancy borders. And so this is where you could do your stamping, or you can just do the stamping on the inside. And then we have a piece of white that has been run through with an embossing folder. This is the I'm sorry. I just quickly gobbled down dinner, and now I'm like, got acid reflux going. But this was run through an embossing folder that is called the Eyelet embossing folder. And this is from Stampin' Up. And the fancy borders, I believe, was close to my heart. Let me double check. Let's see. I didn't write it down. And isn't that the way it normally is for me? And then the flower actually is a Stampin' Up die. It is called Impressions A Bloom die. I think this was a close to my heart one, if I'm not mistaken. But you know, I've put all my supplies away. All right, so we're going to give our card a nice crispy edge. So use your bone folder or something strong. And we are going to apply the eyelet embossed piece first. And since it is embossed, you will want to be a little more generous with your adhesive, just so that it gives it something to hold on to. And I'm going to put this on the front of my card, and I'm going to just center it right in. You know what? I think I want this at the bottom because I'm not liking that top up there. It looks a little crooked to me. Well, I guess it's about the same at the bottom too. And now I'm going to take my border, which is going to go up here at the top. And here you are going to really want to be very generous because it is going to be laying on top of an embossed image. And sometimes the glue needs to be a lot of it so that it will get into the nooks and the crannies of the embossing. Now this piece is going to lay at the top of the embossed piece that we just put down. So you're just going to want to make sure that you are right at that tippy top of it. And then you're going to press that in. Sorry, I'm wiggling the camera a little here. Okay. Next, we are going to build our flower. So I'm going to take this yellow center and I'm going to place that on next. And then I'm going to put a few dimensionals on the back. And now I'm not going to peel these backings off quite yet because what I want to do is lay it where I need it. And then I want to use my scissors. And I'm going to do a little bit of clipping. So if I'm holding my leaf stem, let me just make sure we're all in the camera, like this. So you have one at the bottom, and then you have one on the left, another one on the right, and then we have one up here at the tippy top. We're going to go between leaf number 2, which is on your left side, and leaf number 3 on the right side. So I'm going to go right in between those two, and I'm cutting from the 3rd leaf upwards, like that. Okay, so now this is one part of my leaf, and that's what's going to come here. That's why I don't want to do any gluing. Now for this one, I need to do a little bit of surgery just to remove that little extra piece. And I want to sort of make this look like it's one unit. And by just that little tiny clip, now it looks like it is. And actually, I think I want this at the top because it's slightly shorter. And then this one is going to be what's down under here. And I'm going to use my liquid adhesive. And I'm going to start with this top one. Now, where I'm placing it, you have two larger divots on the flower. Let me bring this up so that you can see this. So right here is a larger divot, and over on this side, there's a larger divot. So I want my leaves to be coming from that. So that's why I haven't peeled these backings off yet, because I want to be able to do the tucking of the leaf, both leaves, before I take that backing off. I hope that makes sense. And if you're joining in right now, I'm sorry I can't see who's on tonight. There is some little glitch again with Facebook. So I'm gonna glue this one down first. I'm just gonna hold it for a second so I know that it's down. And I'm gonna glue the other one next. And then I'll be able to glue my flower down. So let's add a little bit of our liquid glue here. And I'm gonna tuck that in, and I'm gonna hold that for a second. And I'm going to peel those backings off of the dimensionals. And I'm going to place my flower so that I have those two little nooks where the leaves look like they're coming from there. Now we're going to do our gems. I'm going to do a large gem to the left and up from the flower. And I'm going to do my two smaller gems below my flower on the embossed piece. And I think this one, I'm going to kind of go over here, right there. Now, if you are going to do a sentiment, again, you could do it up here, or you could do it on the inside. If you are going to put it on the front, I would advise putting it on before you adhere that, just because the eyelet embossing will create a little bit of a ripple underneath, and you might not get a clean stamped image. And that is our first card. So this is that first card where the flower is our focal. That is the pop of color. Okay. I'm going to set that aside, and we're going to bring in our second card. Now, the second card's kind of fun. I really like this one. I like how it turned out. And the beauty of this card, it can go horizontal or it could go vertical. And this is right where I would be putting in a, like my sentiment would go here. So I might put happy birthday here. This would be a great masculine card for any reason because the colors are so perfect. And then the inside again is empty. So it is how you foresee your card. So I'm just going to set this here. You are going to have a medium. This is actually Pretty Peacock. This is a Stampin' Up color. You are going to have two small. One is Sundance and one is Pretty Peacock. And these do not have any of the stitched lines. So we have those. And then you're going to have another medium Sundance. And then a, I believe this was Nectarine or Pumpkin. I'm looking. Pumpkin. This is Pumpkin. And this would have been a close to my heart color. So I'm going to set my circles aside. You will have 3 black dots, which I just got one on my finger. And now I'm going to set this aside. And then you're going to have some acetate pieces. And when you look at it, you're going to go, well, they kind of look a little fuzzy wuzzy. And I don't believe there's a protective coat on these. Let me just double check. Yes, there is a protective coat. So you may need to, oh, maybe there isn't. No, there isn't. Okay. But a few years back, Close to My Heart had done a set of stamps that when you stamped it perfectly and you put this acetate above it or on top of it, you were able to see it kind of move. Well, those didn't really, I didn't find them to be successful, but I had a ton of this acetate. So that's why I thought, oh, you know what? This would be a really cool piece that we could add to our card. So we're going to have one larger piece, and this measures 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. You are going to have two pieces that are more of a medium size, and they are 1 1/2 by 1 1/2. And then you will have two smaller pieces, and those measure 1 by 1. So you have one large one, two mediums, and two smalls. And then you will have a white piece and a black piece. So let's begin our assembly of this card. Oops, my blending brushes just went flying. So I am going to crease my card. I'm going to place the black down first. This is actually the black two-tone from Stampin' Up, which is kind of neato because you have kind of like that old charcoal, the old Close to My Heart charcoal color is the back side, where the front side is your black. So it gives you that two different options. So maybe you're like, oh, I think I want to use the charcoal side. Go right ahead. These are your cards, so you can kind of adjust them how you want. And now I'm going to turn it this way. And I'm going to place my white down next. And I'm going to center this the best that I can. I wish I could say hi to whoever's on, but I cannot see who's on. All I can tell is I think there's 2 people on, maybe 3. I don't know. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to place that acetate. So what we're going to do first is you're going to position it where you want it. We're not gluing anything. We're just going to dry fit to make sure we have it equal measurements, so to speak. So I'm going to use that largest one. The largest one is going to be in the center towards the top. Now you can have your lines going up and down, or you can put your lines going across. It's completely up to you. I think I'm going to put mine going up and down. So I'm sort of centered. I'm giving myself a little bit of a top, and then this is going to be right where I could put a sentiment. Next, I'm going to take those 2 medium ones. This time, though, I'm going to put them going the opposite direction of that large one. And this is right where we want to kind of make sure that we sort of have equal spacing. That's why I didn't want to glue anything yet. Well, maybe these I will put that direction. I will put them the same direction as the large because I think I'm going to put the littles as the opposite direction. And those are just going to get centered within that same section. Okay. So what I'll do now is I will carefully remove one at a time after I like the spacing. And I'm kind of liking that. That's a nice spacing. So with this, I'm just going to run my adhesive. You might see a little bit of it, but with those lines, it kind of does camouflage most of it. I mean, like I can see mine here, but once I add my circle, you're really not going to notice it that much. So now I'm going to do the other medium. And I'm just eyeballing that they have about the same distance from the bottom and the side. You might get a couple little stragglers from when I cut. So it might be a little bit of that plastic or the acetate. Now, Stampin' Up! Is offering a really pretty card kit that you can purchase, and they will be putting it together for national, it's not even national, it's for World Card Making Day. That will be the first Saturday of October, and they are hosting a free event. And I want to say the hour is from 2 to 3 Mountain Time, so that would be 4 to 5 o'clock our time. And it's a free event, so you could go to, I'm trying to think where it would be on the website. I think it'd be like new or what's it called? What's new? So if you click on that, you'll see World Card Making Day. Click on that. And then you can register for free. And all it was a simple, are you a customer, a demonstrator? What is your email address? And what language do you want to hear it in? Do you want to hear it in English, German? I think French was another option. I think those were the 3 options. And maybe the Netherlands. So maybe 4 options. So you would just click on which language you want to hear. And again, it is a free event. You don't even have to buy the kit. You could just join and be doing your own cards while they're making those cards. But I did buy the kit. I just bought it this morning, so I have not received mine yet because obviously just ordered it. So it looks really pretty. It looks like it comes with a box for storage. And I don't believe there was any stamping involved. I think it was just assembly. No, actually there was a really pretty sentiment stamp. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm all over that. That I like. So let's continue building this card. And I'm going to tell you a couple other new things that are coming our way real soon in the Stampin' Up! Land. That pumpkin is going to go on top of that larger one. And you can go higher, lower, or smack dab in the center. Completely up to you. I'm going to do my little coming off, I think, the bottom of this one. And then of that pretty peacock. And then I'm going to do that medium pretty peacock on top of the medium. And now I'm going to pull in my 2 yellows. And this yellow, I think I want more like that. And this one, I'm going to bring it down a little. And now these are all going to be on with foam. Okay, so you could use dimensionals, whatever you have. Now the next thing I want to discuss is coming in November. Stampin' Up! Is making the bold move of everything will be in photopolymer. Ah, isn't that amazing? That's so good. That's so good. And they are changing their packaging. It will be similar to how the die cuts come now. So it's in that thinner packaging. So it's kind of like a close to my heart packaging if you think about it. But I think it's still going to be the longer, like the 5x7-ish size. So the size is still not going to fit. Like if you have your storage, all your close to my heart stamps, you know, are kind of like tucked in there in those 6x6 envelopes. These are going to be slightly taller and just a hair bit wider. I'm just putting 1-dimensional on the centers of each of my circles. Okay, so that is a new change that is coming, and I think it's a great change, especially for all of us who are coming over from close to my heart. We are used to those photopolymer stamps, and we like having our storage thinner versus thicker, which is great. So I'm going to put that there. And now let's put our dots. I'm going to put the largest on with the pumpkin one. Oh, I didn't even glue that one down. Oh my goodness. And I'm actually going to put that onto the acetate. I will come back to that in a second. While we still have our dots, let's just finish those up. I'm going to put a medium down here on a yellow. And then I'm going to take my small and I'm going to go to the upper right of that pretty peacock small one. Okay, let's put our adhesive dots on the back of pumpkin. And what else? So there was one other change that is coming. Oh, this, I think they're called Stampin' Up markers. I'm not 100% sure of the title of them, but they were more of just a regular marker that you would color. They're not the alcohol markers, okay? So those are being completely discontinued because everybody's been using alcohol markers instead. And there's our pretty card. Isn't that awesome? And this would be a great masculine birthday card. This could be a retirement card. This could just be an encouragement card for a male. You know, maybe somebody's kind of struggling right now. This would be great for that. Like put a little thinking of you right here and then a little message or a graduation card for a man or a boy. Okay, but this has lots of possibilities. And again, our pop of color are those circles where everything else is very monochromatic. It's the black, it's the white, but yet you have the pop of color of the orange, of the pretty peacock, of the Sundance. So that's where the pop of color is in this card. Okay, these were really fun to design. All right, let's mosey on to the next one. So here's our next one. And this one you're going to be doing a little, oops, sorry, I had it upside down. This one I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending using blending brushes. That's what's back here and then on this circle. So let's pull the supplies that you will be needing. You are going to be needing this lovely flower and this very, very pretty glittery floral. Both of these are from the Paper Pumpkin, not the current dies, the dies previous. So that would have been the April through June, maybe? Or June? I believe that's what that one was. April through June, April through July. However it comes. It was the second set. This came with the second set. So once you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you can get these other dies that are not purchasable by anybody other than those who are Paper Pumpkin subscribers. We're going to have a white circle, and this again was another Paper Pumpkin from, this is actually from the current one. So that would be September through December. So they're every 4 months. So the other one would have been May through August. But this is the September through December one. We're going to have a piece of black, and we're going to do something to that in a moment. So set that aside. You will also have a piece of white, and on that white, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can see. You will have what looks like something is heat embossed on it. These are called Irresistibles, and this paper is available through Stampin' Up. This is actually a close to my heart one, but they do have it in Stampin' Up, and it is so cool because you can color it however you want. So we're going to be coloring that in a moment, and then we have a piece of royal. So let's get it ready and fold our card in half. And we are going to put our royal down first. And we are just going to make sure we have that real pretty little border of white all the way around. I will turn it as soon as we get that piece on. Excellent. So I'm going to just set this aside for a second, and I'm going to bring in the piece that we need to color. So I'm going to put this on top. And I have pulled in Royal, Lagoon, and Limeade. So those were the close to my heart colors. If you have the Stampin' Up colors, you will do, I gotta think, Gorgeous Grape. Lagoon, it would be Lost Lagoon, and then Limeade would be Lemon Lime Twist. Haha, look at that. All right, so for this, I'm actually going to start with my lightest color, which is my Limeade, or you would use Lemon Lime Twist, or whatever kind of limey light green you have is what you want. So I'm gonna smush this inside with my blending brush. I'm gonna tap off just a little, and I'm not gonna do it exactly like I did the sample. I'm gonna give it a different look. So I think I'm gonna do a little Limeade here. And do a little Limeade over here. And do a little bit up here. I'm gonna extend this a little bit. Like that. Oh yeah, that I like. Excellent. And I'm gonna set that aside, and I'm going to pull in the Lagoon because that would be the next light color. I'm gonna go from the lightest to the darkest. I'm gonna squish some ink into my blending brush, and now I'm gonna bring it around that Limeade, and I'm gonna allow the two colors to intermix. And this one, I'm gonna give it a little over here. I'm gonna give it a little bit up here, and I'm gonna allow those to blend together. And now for this other corner, I'm gonna kind of come through. And some of it is a little darker, some of it's a little lighter. It's completely fine. It's however you like it. Oh, I think I like that. That looks good. Okay, I'm happy with it. I'm not gonna touch it. I'm gonna bring in some of my purple now. So I'm going to bring in Royal. And now I'm just gonna add the Royal in. Right there. Let's add just a little up here. And this is just a little too stripey for me. Oh, that's much better. All right, now I'm going to actually go back to the Limeade. And I'm going to add a little bit more of that, more as that blending. I'm going to blend this a little. Oh yes. Okay, and I think I'll blend a little bit more of that Lagoon. So pretty. That looks really pretty. Okay, I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to pull in my circle. Now, on my sample, I used the Royal. I think this time I'm going to actually use the Lagoon, and I'm just going to give this a little wash with my blending brush. That's all, just that little bit. Okay, And now let's continue putting our card together. We are going to take our black piece and we are going to put it in between our two thumbs, and you are going to just rip down the center. So I'm going to hold my left hand pinching the top. My right hand, since I'm right-handed, is going to be what I'm going to use to pull down. And I'm just going to pull down. Just like that. Now this is a little bit of a chunky piece and I really don't like that, so I'm just going to use my finger and I'm just going to pull a little more of that off so that it has a prettier edge. Now this piece, I don't see the white and I really want to see the white, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to rip from the top going down again, but not as much. So this is where I'm going to rip very slowly, and I'm just using my thumb and my fingers in the back of it to kind of help guide me. And so I'm just pinching and pulling, pinching and pulling, because I want that white edge to show for this piece as well. Just like that. So I just really took a tiny bit off. That's about 1/4 of an inch off. All right, so now let's get ourselves ready to continue. Let me move this out of our way. This piece is going to be in the center, but before I glue it down, I want these two pieces to go above and below it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my adhesive along that bottom edge and the top edge. And so I'm going to center that real pretty piece first. They are the same length as the resistible paper. And I'm just making sure that I kind of have the same distance from the left side to the right side, and I have actually a little bit more on the right. So since I've only glued part, I should probably add a little bit of adhesive to this too. And kind of get that centered first. Let's do that. All right, I'm going to center this. So I am, let's see, not even on a line. Here we go. I'm on a line now. And I'm going to go approximately 1 1/4 inches from the bottom. So this bottom line is at about 1 1/4. So now this piece, I can put this on now. And I just want to make sure I have an equal distance from left to right, and my top probably could come down just a hair. Okay, and now we're going to put our adhesive on the other black piece. And I'm going to now center from the bottom and the left and the right. My neighbors are putting their trash out for tomorrow, which there is no trash tomorrow because we just had Labor Day. Ay, ay, ay. Now I'm going to put my circle. So maybe this time I want it on this side, or maybe more in the middle, down low. I'm gonna go, I think I'll keep it right where I had it. I'm gonna bring it here. Let's turn it this way. Okay, I'm going to put a tiny dimensional. I have to first finish poking this out. I did not finish poking it out. There we go. And this one is going to be stubborn and not want to come out, so I'm not going to push it because I don't want to rip my flower. So now we're going to put a little dot. I have to first find a little dot. Oh, there we go. Here's one. I'm going to put a tiny dimensional right in the center. So just like how we did the last 2 cards ago, our very first one, you are going to need to place your leaf first before you put your flower down. So you could get the foam on the back of it so that you're ready. I'm going to put my liquid glue here. And now I'm going to decide right where I want my leaf. And I'm thinking I want to hide that little blemish that I had. I'm going to hold it for a second. And now I'm going to take my backing off. And I like my flower. I want the center to go over the center of the leaf, the stem of the leaf. Okay, that looks great so far. Let's add our glitter gems. Now these are close to my heart glitter gems. And I'm going to put a large one there. And then I'm going to put the smaller ones at the top. And that is our 3rd card. Again, so many possibilities for these cards. Just put your sentiment on and away you go. Wouldn't this be fun for a girl birthday? Again, a thank you card, a thinking of you card, any reason you need to send a card. This is a great, beautiful get well card. Okay, let's move on to our last one. So here is our last one. And this one will be a top folding down card. So this paper was cut at 4 1/4 by 11. So it'd be your 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. So you cut it 4 1/4 and then you score it 5 1/2. So you will have a piece of pattern paper that has a flower on it. Now everybody's is going to be slightly different only because I made sure I looked for like the prettiest flowers so that we could do this technique. This is called Spotlight, where we are only spotlighting part of the full pattern. We don't want the whole pattern color. We are only doing a tiny bit of the pattern. So again, everybody's piece here is slightly different than mine, and your circle might be in a different location because I really wanted you to get the most of a flower and a leaf. So I hope that makes sense. So we have that. You are going to have a black, what looks like could be a shaker element, because this piece is going to get glued onto this piece, which will then get glued onto our main piece. You're going to have your sentiment pieces, a white and a black, and then we will have another black. So let's fold our card, and I already have it scored for you at 5 1/2 inches. And we are going to, let's try that word again. We are going to glue or adhere down the black cardstock first, which is 4 by 5 1/4. That goes down first. And I like to make sure that I have just that real pretty little border all the way around. Now, once we are done with this class, I will show you the upcoming classes for October, November, and December. Now is our time. We need to begin thinking what we want for the themes for next year, because I'd like to get the calendar started on that. Like, what themes for card class? Are there things you would like to learn that we could do as workshops? Things like that. So if you think of something, put it in the comments or send me a message and we'll go from there. Okay, so now I'm going to put the floral piece down next. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to color this piece next. So the floral circle is what's going to be colored. And for that, I am going to use hydrangea. And I'm going to start with my light for my flower. You can use colored pencils. You could use other markers, whatever you have. I'm using a purple. So if that helps, just pull yourself a purple. And now I'm going to switch to my, actually I'm going to switch to the dark, I think, for these lines. And now I'm going to pull in that medium for the centers. Just like that. And I'm just kind of tracing with that medium around each petal. And now I'm going to go back to my light. And I'm going to go over everything real fast with the light. And all I'm doing is blending. I'm just blending all these colors together. And again, your flower might look a little different than mine, and that's okay. And I'm going to use 2 shades of green for this. I'm using Jade Green Blend and Jade Green Shades. So for the blend, I'm going to use the, I think maybe the medium. Let's just see. Yeah, I'm going to use the medium. Just so it's nice and vibrant. I guess I have a hard time talking and coloring at the same time. The Christmas card workshop, you have a little bit more time for that. If you are interested in the weekend adventure scrap class, that is due by Sunday, the 6th, whenever the 6th is. 6th is Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. It's due by Saturday. Okay, because I do need to order and then begin the cutting process. So that was my medium. And now I'm going to go to my Jade Shades, and I'm going to pull, let's see if I like this. Is that enough of a contrast? Let's try this one. I'm going to go with the medium on this one also, because it's definitely darker and deeper. And I'm just going over the lines. So Weekend Adventure is due by Saturday. And the Christmas card workshop, which will be in person in October, That is coming up due real soon. There is still time if you would like to join in for the crop, which will be on September 20th. That is due by the 8th. Let's see what else. I have all of this is posted as events. I'm going back to, actually this time I'm going to go back to the light just to do the blending because I don't want it to make it super dark, but I do want to blend these colors together. But your card classes, your regular Thursday, first Thursday of the month card classes, I do have those events posted already for October, November, and December. So if you are interested in those, get your class fees in. That way then you're ready and you're set to go. All right, so now what we need to do is I'm going to take my liquid adhesive and I'm going to put a bead on the back because that's what's going to stick the best onto glitter paper. So I'm going to put a bead of this all the way around. I do not want to skimp on this. And I'm going to place that onto my black circle. And what it will do is it's actually going to fit right where there's that stitching. So it will fit on the inside of the stitching. And I just really want to press it down real hard for just a few seconds. I'm going to put my adhesive on top of it. And you can put your little sentiment box together like so. All right, now this is good. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to line this circle up. So you're just kind of like looking. So this leaf, it looks like it's matching here. This leaf is matching here. These are starting to match over here. This is matching. This looks pretty darn close to matching. So now that's the spotlight. So let's put some adhesive on that, and I am going to use liquid on this again, because I don't want it falling off. And I'm being very generous. All right, so now I'm going to try to get that back into place again. Oh, that looks good. Okay, and I'm going to set that there and hold it for just a moment. And then our sentiment box, I'm just going to put that down, not on dimensionals, because I want to be able to stamp. And I'm going to bring mine down here so that I'm not hiding any of those real pretty flowers. And that is our spotlight for this card. It's right there. It's the spotlight. That's our pop of color. Isn't that pretty? That is so, so pretty. So you finish that up, and I'm going to grab the October, November, December cards and anything else that I can put my fingers on right away of upcoming classes for you. So let me grab those. All right, I'm going to start with our regular Thursday, first Thursday of the month class. So our very first one for October, we will be doing gift card holders. So this one is a birthday card, and your gift card will go right in here. And another birthday one. So I did 2 birthday and then 2 Christmas. And so right here's where your gift card will go. This is our Christmas one. We open and it's going to go sitting right in between here. Isn't that clever? And then the other one looks like this, and we pop it open and it will go right here inside this triangle. So that is the October 2nd class, and it is due by September 20th. The next class will be a Christmas card class, and it is different than the workshop. And this will be on November the 6th, and it is due by October 18th. So our first one is this card. Isn't that just pretty with this gold oval behind the bird? That's so lovely. Then we have this, which actually the oval from here is the outside of this oval. So it's all one die, which is fantastic. And it folds out like that. So it's sort of like a fancy fold card. And I think I went with like a gold theme, it seems like. Then we're going to have this real pretty one with the gold here. And this paper is still available. It is called Elegance of the Season, I think. Or Golden Elegant. I don't remember. Something Elegance. But this is available. So the green and the red and this beautiful ivory all come in the same pack. And then this will flip up like so. And then we have a fun one. This is called a book binding card. So when you open, it only opens like that. Okay, so this is the November 6th class, and it is due by October 18th. And then our last one for December, which will be fancy folds. So the first fancy fold is, this is what it looks like here. Now to make it fancy, it will stand sort of like that. And then to open it up, your sentiment is over here on the side. So if you were looking at it like this, that gets tucked in, and it's just like that. Isn't that pretty? And then we're going to have this one. This is a bay window card. And to make it stand, you're going to tuck it over here in this little corner. And then when it stands, it looks like a bay window. And then we have this one. This is a corner card, and it folds and flips up like that. Now, any of these cards, you're like, oh, I absolutely love them. I want to make them, but I don't want those sentiments. Just say, please don't stamp the sentiments. I'll do my own sentiments. And that's totally fine. However, like something like this is a die cut. I will still put that in, and you can decide if you want that or not. Now, this one is very intriguing. We're going to take the belly band off. We are going to open here and here. And then we're going to pop it up like that. So it is actually like an easel card, but it is a double gatefold card that is an easel. So those are the fancy folds that will be on December the 4th, and you must be registered and prepaid by November the 15th. All right. Next, I have the Christmas card workshop. This will be held on October the 18th, and it is due by September 20th. So you have approximately 2 weeks to get this in. So we will be making 20 cards. So for example, these two are identical. other than your embellishments are what's different. Okay, so this is card, no, I have them labeled. I don't believe this is card number 1. No, this is actually card number 9. We do have a couple of fancy folds inside this class as well. So this one opens up. Gift card can go here. And then, hold on, this all opens up again. So there is no stamping in this class at all. So you will do your own stamping of your inside sentiments at home. So this is one of our fancy folds, and it's a gift card holder. We have this one, and it's the same exact card. So if I were to go this way or this way, it would be the same. I just adjusted the embellishments. We have this darling card, and again, it's just our embellishments are what's different, and the sentiment. The sentiment are already chipboard, and they are already gold embossed for you. And these dots are nice and flat, so they will work right through the mail beautifully. So here's another card. That's all I did was flip this paper. That's all it is. It's paper flipped back and forth. Different embellishment, different sentiment. This is using a 6x6 pad. So some of these are stickers, some of them are little chipboard pieces. I love this one. This one's so pretty. Here's another fancy fold. We're just going to do a gatefold, a simple gatefold like that. And then the other one would be this one. We have this one. Isn't that joy just lovely? That gold embossing on it. We have this card. I just changed up the sentiment and I changed up the embellishment. And then this is the other fancy fold. So this one's actually a bridge card. So that would fold up, and then that would fold up. And then the mate for that one will go this direction. So you would fold that up with that up. So again, this class is October the 18th. It is $35, and it is due by September 20th. Because I need the time to cut, because that is a lot of cutting. The Weekend Adventure scrap pages, these are due on Saturday of this week if you are interested. So this is our left, and that is our right. This is the second layout. This is our left, and here is our right. There's a little bit of stamping, not much. This is the third layout. And here is the other half of it. I love this element of the mountains. So pretty. And then we have this one as a campfire. So this is a stamped image, and this is a stamped image. So is this and that. So this is our left, and this is our right. Now this is a sticker, and so is this. And here, these are stickers. So again, this is due by Saturday because I need to begin the cutting process. This class will be held on the first Saturday of October. So it will be October the 4th. And then our next paper pumpkin class, which will be back to normal times, will be on September 27th. I'm going to show you the layout first. So this is our left side of the layout, and here is the right side. Isn't that pretty? It really could be used for so many things. And then we will also do cards, but you need to be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. So this is the first card, and it's just a gatefold. And I'm going to teach you how to embellish, how to make it distressed looking. This is another, and this is actually a gatefold or an easel fold card. Now, one of the ladies who is a subscriber, she's like, I really don't like this kit. So if there is somebody here that's like, oh, I really like it and I'd like to do this class, you can purchase that kit from her. I will be seeing her this coming Saturday. So if you are interested, just let me know and I will let her know, and she will leave the kit with me and I will set it aside for you to come and make it on September 27th with me. This I embossed back here. Here's another embossed with some arches. This one we just added a little bit up here. This one I did some masking back here. This is more masking. And then you have this one with another embossing folder back here. So yeah, these are our projects for the next coming classes. So if you are interested in any of them, please let me know and send your class fees in right away. All right, so have a great evening. This video will be moving over to YouTube over the weekend. All right, so I will talk to you all real soon. Good night.